I'm Chris Whittington with Vicksburg Daily News and Listen to the Eagle, and this is a special edition of Coffee With. And for those Listen to the Eagle people who are viewers of our site, this will be airing on the following weekend, the weekend following the crest of the Mississippi River. But I'm here with State Farm Agent Robyn Lee, who is in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Now, Robyn, we've been talking a lot about the floodwaters coming up, and you're getting a lot of questions into your office about people with flood insurance, people who don't have flood insurance, and what questions are you hearing?
Well, generally people are asking if their homeowner's policy covers the flood, and generally speaking, homeowners' policies do not include flood coverage. It's excluded from the policy. If people are unsure about that, what they need to do is call their insurance agency, their insurance agent, and clarify that.
Now, while insurance agents do write flood insurance policies, all flood insurance policies go through the National
NFIP, the National Flood Insurance Program. When people have claims, that will be handled by FEMA, not by the agent's office or the claims service provided through the company where they purchase the flood insurance.
Now, one of the points that we do need to make from the governor's press conference yesterday at the airport, many people saw it on Vicksburg Daily News, there is a number to FEMA?
Yes, there is, and what the governor was asking people to do is to call right now and register. FEMA will not find you. You need to find FEMA. They aren't getting a high volume of calls right now. It's a great time to call. If you're getting water, if you know you're going to get water, you can call 1-800-621-FEMA and go ahead and register. They will give you an ID number, and that way you can have ongoing contact with them. But don't sit and wait for someone from FEMA to come and find you, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that we need to talk about, and we need to talk in specifics about, this water that's standing behind us, and you can see the homes being inundated here. This water is very dangerous.
This water is toxic, Chris. This area is on a septic system. Obviously, it's been flooded. This is considered black water. It's dirty water. It's got sewage in it. They've done some testing. It's full of E. coli. Where we're standing right now, I don't know if you can smell it, but I can actually smell natural gas, so there's some issues there. Of course, I'm sure there are snakes and alligators and other critters and creatures. Do not wade into this water. I saw some pictures on Facebook yesterday. Somebody was letting their child play in the floodwaters. This is bad, dirty, nasty water. When it recedes and you're able to get back into your house, please do so with great caution. You will have snakes and other creatures in your house. When you open closet doors, when you open your car, if it's been flooded, please be very, very careful.
And another thing that we really do need to point out, and it's something that you were going to talk about with Chris Kitchens a little bit later in this segment. When the floodwaters recede and you return to your home, things are still very, very dangerous.
Yes, they are. And we're going to talk to Chris about that a little bit later. If your house still has the electric meter on it, presume that it's live and dangerous. Don't go in there and strike a match or use a cigarette lighter or something like that. Bring a flashlight. Go in with caution. Wear rubber boots or waders, some heavy-duty rubber gloves. You need to wear a mask to try to protect your any nasal passages, any orifices you need to protect, because that's how people end up getting hepatitis and other diseases from dirty water.
Now, Robyn, you had a chance to interview a couple of prominent people here in this community, especially here in the south end of Vicksburg. Do you want to tell people about what they're about to see?
Yes, we interviewed Bill Lauderdale, who is the supervisor for District 4, and also Representative Alex Mansour, and we're going to be running those tapes shortly. Bill, we just attended the press conference with Haley Barbour, who was talking about people staying safe. We know the flood is coming. We need to secure our property, those who are going to have floodwaters. I know you have some other concerns as well. What would you like for our citizens, particularly your District 4 constituents, because I know a lot of areas down here are taking in water. What do you want people to know?
Well, one point I don't think a lot of people realize is the dangerous situation of being out in a boat in these backwaters. And I know a lot of people that are not directly involved in this flood fight are trying to find something fun to do. This is something with energy is really trying to protect people from hurting themselves. I myself did not realize how dangerous these high voltage lines are. They tell me that you can get 15 feet or away from a voltage and still get shock. So it really brought that to my attention. I love to boat and fish, and that's one of the things that I was hoping to do. But they have posted guards all up and down 61 and in this backwater, trying to discourage people from putting boats in. And
so if you're a sightseer, stay home.
That's the best thing to do. At least stay out of the way of any kind of efforts that are ongoing. And there's some roads down here that are getting very narrow with water up close to them, and we just don't need people driving down there looking at those, because it's dangerous.
Now I understand that Campbell Swamp Road was just closed. Is that correct?
Just got a call. They're taking the boards down in there, the signs, road closed signs. And this is all the way down in the very end, close to the Big Black. And that's what that is a big black backwater coming up. It's one of those areas that people that live down in there generally know that they're going to get water, and have to make preparations to get their properties out if they're going to go underwater. But hopefully none of the residents, there may be one down there if at this crest that we got now that may have a potential problem, but the rest of them should be okay. We just need to make sure they're able to get in and out to their residences. That's going to be a problem.
Bill, one other question I wanted to ask you. A lot of attention has been paid, of course, to Eagle Lake. They've been getting water for really a couple of weeks now, right, in that whole area. But maybe some people don't realize the potential, or really already we have a lot of water down on the south end of town in your district. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we've got, of course, the first industry that we have, and some individual homes that are being affected is down at Lauderdale and just south of the airport here, and it's causing a lot of people to be out of work. A lot of the other industries up above the airport are being protected by a levee system that we've been hastily put up in hopes that it'll hold, and it's also protecting probably 30 to 40 homes in the Green Meadow subdivision right now. So all of these protective measures we're hoping are going to keep folks from flooding. But we also have in the Glass Road area, especially down here, some down below Cedars, some residences that are being flooded down here also. Got some areas that are people will be cut off, and their homes may not be flooded, but there again, they may not be able to get to their homes.
Right. I was talking to Steve English the other day at Foam Packaging, right, Cooper Lighting, Batesville Casket. They've put some levees up around their property, because I know Steve's very concerned about water coming in. Right. And I know that I've had some discussions with the people out here at the airport that perhaps the runway is it's in question right now.
It's in question. There's a lot of places that it's really going to be close. It's going to depend on what this crest does. It's going to depend on how much rainfall we get locally here while this water's up. And this won't go away very soon either. It's going to last a while. And that's I guess the other point I'd want to make is to, and the governor said it today, this is going to be a long-term deal. It's not going to be anything the water's going to quickly go out and go away. So we haven't even hardly started to scratch on the work that's going to be involved in this flood.
I know he said that once it crests here, we'll expect the water to stay at the crest level for several days, and could be 45 to 60 days before it has completely receded.
Right now, and of course there's another thing. The Corps has a very good website you can go to. They've got a timeline that shows their anticipated closure of 61 in different areas, how long the water will be up at a certain level. So we're looking 3, 4, 5 weeks down in a lot of areas. And MDOT has a good, Mississippi Department of Transportation has got a website with a lot of good information on its closures. City of Vicksburg has got theirs. We're in the process right now of putting something for the county, hopefully, within the next day or 2 or 3. And we're meeting, county's emergency management is meeting daily, including this weekend, every morning to get updates from everybody and try to make the best preparations we can for the flood.
I know that one of the things the governor mentioned is that if people know that they're going to get water, or if they're pretty sure that they're going to get water, they need to go ahead right now and register. And they can call 1-800-621-FEMA. Right now, FEMA can't come find them. They need to call in and register at this point.
They do.
And the phones are kind of slow right now, so it's a good time to do that before it gets really busy.
And they'll issue them an identification number so that they can process everything.
We're here with Representative Alex Mansour. Representative, you've heard what the governor had to say, issuing warnings to people and asking people to be safe and get out. What would you like to say to the citizens of Vicksburg and particularly to your constituents?
Well, what we've done is, over the last couple of weeks, Senator Hobson, myself, Representative Flaggs, we've stayed in contact with FEMA, MEMA, the state government, and the local government. And the contact point is basically your city and county. But what we wanted to do is, from a state level, is to make sure that we didn't wind up like what happened in Louisiana a few years back. And we want to make sure everybody is informed, they know where to go, what to do, and to understand that it's important. This water is going to come, and it may come so fast when this crest happens that they don't have time to get out and get away from it. And we don't want to put anybody in danger. And that's what the governor stressed today. You know, it may not be that that individual is in danger, but we put people in danger to go get them to get out.
Right.
And we just want them to be prepared. Just like today, they're going to close down 61 North up by Redwood because, you know, at night you can't tell where water is. And that's the danger point. Somebody will go off in there, we'll have somebody drown, you'll have kids in the car, you just can't see it, you don't know where it's at. And this stuff just comes. And we've known it for a while now. And it's going to be to a point where when this flood stage comes, it's something we've never seen before. So they need to be prepared for it, and we want them to be prepared for it. And it's just, we're just to a point now where it's getting to its highest level. And Thursday, on the, I think it's the 19th, we're going to have our crest, and it's going to stay that way for a long time. And these people are going to, there's going to be some people here that lose everything.
That's correct.
And the main thing is that they know where to go and the people to see. And FEMA and MEMA are prepared. We've got the designation from the federal government, and the money's going to be there to help them, and we just want them to know where to go get it. So it's going to be, and they'll be able to know if they watch their local news and 1-800-FEMA.
1-800-621-FEMA.
1-800-621-FEMA is where they can go and get any information they need.
And they actually can call that number now and register.
That's
correct?
true. That's true.
They don't have to wait until they actually know they have damage. If they know that they're going to have some flood, they can go ahead and register now.
That's right, because we've got it now. It's our Warren County has been in there. All the counties up to where we're at in the local level, the local areas here. 1-800-621-FEMA, and they can call and register. And like the governor said, FEMA doesn't know to go find you.
That's correct.
If you don't contact them, they don't know to come help you. So that's the important thing. You've got to go and take the effort, or they're not going to know to come help you. So that's
I want to make one comment when you said not to drive through water. I read an interesting article today that said that more people drown in a car from driving through water in as little as 6 inches of moving water can get you out of control. So we beg people not to drive through water because you don't know how deep it is.
That's right. And the most, I've got 2 children. And let me tell you, I do everything I can to protect my kids. And when a parent is panicking with their children and the children are panicking too, it's just a situation where anything can happen. So when you go off and you don't know what you're in, it's a bad situation. So
just
we can't take the chances out there, and we just want everybody to be careful.
We are on Glass Road, and I'm here with the owner of Serve Pro of Vicksburg and Yazoo, Chris Kitchens. Chris, thank you for joining us today. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, obviously, the floodwaters. The river hasn't crested yet, but we are just really less than a week away from it. And as we hopefully in the next few weeks, as the waters begin to recede, what are some of the things that people need to pay attention to as they return to their homes and start dealing with the cleanup in the aftermath of the flood?
Well, thank you for having me, Robyn. I'd say the number one factor to begin with would be the safety as they go into these flooded places. The roads may still be underwater. But as I look out across some of these houses here, I see that the meters are still in the bases. They haven't been pulled. So unless energy has cut the power coming into this neighborhood, some of these houses could have live electrical hazards in them. So that's going to be a tremendous safety factor there. And also with the rising water, I would be concerned with snakes or baby alligators, things like that may have gotten into the home. I would recommend when you first go into your house not to go alone, to have somebody with you, and to let somebody know where you're going, an expected time that you might be back in case something does happen to you. And we also have the structural issue of is the structure still safe to go into, far as these conventional foundation houses may have been floated up off the foundations. These trailer homes like this can be very dangerous if they're moved off the blocks and their footings. So things like that you really need to be aware of. And also with the toxicity of the water and all, with the bacteria and the viruses and all that could be in this water, you need to wear proper PPE.
What is PPE?
Well, that's personal protective equipment. Rubber boots. If you got a slicker suit, rain suit, or something like that, to try to keep from getting this water on you. It can be transferred through the skin. If you get a drop in your mouth or in your eyes or up your nose, you could be getting E. coli, bacteria, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, things like that people really don't think about that's in this flood water.
Now, Chris, through your company, ServPro, what are some of the flood mitigation, water mitigation services that you provide that you anticipate the services you're going to be needing? You and I have met on a regular basis throughout this, watching this water rise, and talked about how we're going to serve customers in this area that have had flood water. I know you have talked to your corporate office and you have teams set up to come in and assist you. But what are some of the activities that these teams will actually be doing in people's homes?
Okay, when we would first come out and survey the structure and assess the situation, when this water recedes, it's going to be a great amount of silt and mud in these homes that's going to need to be cleaned out. All porous materials such as drywall, any kind of pressed wood material, any soft goods like couches or furniture, things like that, they have to be discarded because it's black water.
You mean people aren't going to be able to clean this furniture and reuse it?
No, absolutely not. The ICRC guidelines call for any porous material has to be disposed of. You cannot clean and disinfect. There's foam padding inside the material and all, and drywall soaks it up, and that has to be discarded. Any carpet, padding, any kind of porous material or semi-porous material, such as pressed wood, that sort of thing. Furniture that's made out of cabinets that may have the pressed wood. So basically, if you get 2 foot of water in your house, more likely than 4 foot of the walls will need to be cut out, that wet insulation taken out. The stud walls, everything that remains will need to be pressure washed and treated with an EPA registered disinfectant that'll kill all these bacteria and viruses and things like that. And then as soon as power's available, you need to have drying equipment put into the home to dry the structure, the remaining stud walls and things like that, as quickly as possible to try to prevent mold. Now, when if the water stays up for 2 or 3 weeks, they may already have mold, and that's another danger. Then you may have to do a complete tear out of the house.
Well, Chris, I know you've been busy these last few weeks, and I know you're going to get even busier in the next few weeks, so I appreciate you taking the time to come out and talk to us today.
And just before we get out of here on this edition of Coffee With, of course, there's no coffee. We're talking about the flood. This is Saturday, May 14th, and the National Weather Service predicts that the Mississippi River will crest on Thursday, the 19th. And the crest here at the Vicksburg gauge is 57.5 feet is what's predicted. Now, the history book's still being written on this, folks. These waters are very, very dangerous, and there are still more homes that will be threatened in the coming days. Robyn, is there anything else that you want to get out to people?
Well, if you don't have an evacuation plan, this is your last weekend to go ahead and remove your personal items from your home. Take pictures in your house. It's a great way to inventory your personal belongings. As you go through your home to take pictures, open your cabinets, open the drawers. It makes it a little bit easier if you do need to make a claim. The most important thing is to get your family and get to safety.
And let me go ahead and kind of stress one thing, and this is something that you and I talked about with Governor Barbour yesterday. If you have photos, if you can't get any of your other possessions in your home out and you're going to be affected by floodwater, please get your family photos. Everything else in your house can be replaced. Every single thing. Family photos and your lives are the two most really important things. Your life first and your photos second, because your photos are your memories, and those things are super important. Robyn, I guess we need to tell them our thoughts and prayers are completely and totally with them.
Absolutely. If there's anything I can do, please feel free to call my office at 601-636-4555. Even if I'm not your agent, if there's anything that I or any of my staff members can do to help you, it would be our pleasure to do so.